All right, so we are inside Substance Sampler, and today we are going to quickly make us an abstract material using some of the texture generators as well as a simple alpha of our own. And you can use anything that you have, just make sure it is already tileable, as it will make it a lot easier to kind of make this happen. And if you are looking for any type of materials or textures for any of your scenes, please make sure to check us out on Fab and on Blender Market. And yeah, that's looking pretty good here, so we don't want to go ahead and overdo that too much, as we have the details inside that AI to image material kind of where we already need it. And from there we need to add a few more things to the layers, but what we're going to do now first is, as you can see, the fabric change to the parameter here just kicked in. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to add in another base material. And we're going to use the satin here, as we want to kind of come up with something a little bit shiny. And as you can see, dropping in that satin with the gold fabric already gives us, something recognizable here, but we're going to change that a bit. So let's go to that last preset, and I'm going to just drop this base color down, as I think I'm going to go with something a little bit darker here, but we're also wanting to get a little bit of luster to make sure it still comes through our default material. So let's go ahead and just drop that in, and we'll make it just a little bit darker. That's pretty good there. Let's just leave it. And as you can see, we still have that luster and that metallicness that we need. So let's go ahead and we'll drop in a color variance node and layer, excuse me. And as you can see, once you drop that in, make sure it stays on the replace in base color. And the first thing you always want to do is just add up the color counts. I usually take it to about 4, as that usually is enough to get the image material as well as the different layers of your added texture there, as you can see. So let me just drop that metallic down just a little bit here, and we're going to open up those parameters. And the height position is always going to be our best friend. Height position really allows you to get those blendings in between your layers. And as you can see, that blending's already pretty neat there. Really liking what we have going on. And the next thing we need to do here is let's just go into that color count. We're just going to play around with it a bit. I really want to do something kind of in the blue space, but we're just going to kind of play around and see what we come up with. And when dealing with satin, I highly recommend kind of staying something around gold or silver, even a shinier blue. Those things kind of work. Lighter grays, just to be safe. And then you can kind of work your way around from there. I like to work in kind of the blue, and some of those pastel palettes really kind of jump out really well. So what we're doing right now, as you can see, color 2 is working on that texture. So 3 will do the same. We're going to remove that pink out, put that white in there, as you can see. And we just need to get 4 out of there. And I think we're just going to do another variant of blue here, possibly black or white. We'll see how it looks. And I really like that there. That's pretty neat. I think we'll probably stay with this. And you could pretty much just, you could use that there, and you can always hit that tiling there and just add in the number that you want and make it as small as you like. Let's go over to the cloth here. As you can see how that looks really small. Basically, you want to kind of use these cloths to simulate smaller items, such as pillowcases. For me, this looks like something that would look really good on some sort of tie or, handkerchief, something of that nature. So I really love this, and just making those tilings really small allows you to retain those details. Now, I do believe this texture sitting on top is just a little bit high, but that is something that we can kind of tackle a bit later. So let's just go ahead and we'll add one more layer on top of this right here. So we're going to add in a brightness and contrast layer here, and I highly recommend adding this to everything you do and just boost up the contrast just a little bit, as this will essentially just kind of give you a little bit more depth inside your colors. Sometimes we can get a little bit confused, especially dealing with the HDRI rotation. And we can do a few more things here. Let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of the scaling and the gradient. The gradient is always what you're going to use to kind of get more separation inside the shapes. As you can see, we're getting more spacing there, and we're going to change the tiling a bit to try to make these hexagons really kind of fit inside with our shape on our texture, to kind of make it look a little bit more cohesive. So let's just fiddle around with the size a bit. And that rotation just a little bit, as you can see, kind of making it a bit more diagonal there. It makes it seem to be a little bit more cohesive, so we don't look like we just have two different layers kind of smashed on top of each other. We want to make sure we have something that looks like it's meant to be. And as you can see, that looks really neat. We still, at some point, will definitely probably pull down just the texture layer just a bit and bring the tiling up just so we can see a little bit more of what we're working with. And I really love that they're just very subtle, but also just very unique. And when creating abstract patterns, that's basically what we want to go for. We want to make something that looks familiar, but also at the same time we haven't seen before. That is my biggest advice on really making your materials stand out, especially when trying to sell them on a market. So that's it for this one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more tutorials on all your favorite videos. And if you're looking for some of our materials, make sure to hit that link down below. And you can also find some of our preferred Blender add-ons, as well as a direct link to all of our stores. And that's it for this one. So as always, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.